Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a long week in the music industry. We have no time to waste, so let's get right into it. Again, this week belonged to Taylor Swift and her monster of an album, 1989. In case you've been living under a rock, let's bring you up to speed a little bit. In August, Taylor announced the album along with the lead single Shake It Off. Last week she released it, and its impact was record-shattering. Let's go over a little bit of the sales figures, okay? Now, for the past 14 years, Britney Spears has held the record for the largest solo female-selling album in 1 week with Oops, I Did It Again. It was highly rumored and highly expected that Taylor would break this record with 1989. Did she? Nope! Britney Spears still holds the record, but in all seriousness, the impact of 1989 has been historical, and it's really great to see Taylor, who still has a relatively young career in front of her, sell like she's been selling and become such a force in the music industry. Let's break down these sales. According to Billboard, she sold 1,287,000 copies of 1989. Now, according to Hit's Daily Double, she sold 1,316,000 copies of the album. Those numbers slightly vary. One's a little bit inflated, but Billboard is the one to definitely go by because it contains all of the Nielsen SoundScan data, and that makes up everything that Billboard goes by. If that large opening wasn't enough, she broke a ton of records. 1989 has the largest sales week since Eminem in 2002 with The Eminem Show. It's already the biggest opening of 2014, and it's the second best-selling album of the year, right behind the Frozen soundtrack. Last week alone, when it came to album sales throughout the entire country, 1989 sold 22% of the total market. That is insane. So that means 22% of all CDs sold last week belonged to Taylor Swift. That's crazy. When it comes to physical selling versus digital, Taylor's always been more of a physical seller, but this time around, the figures were split right down the middle. When it came to physical, she sold 647,000, and on the digital side, she sold 640,000. It's been the largest selling week for any physical album since her last album 2 years ago with Red, and it's the second largest digital opening, right behind Lady Gaga's Born This Way. So where did all of these sales go to? How does one sell 1.287 million albums? We'll break it down a little bit more. At Target alone, she sold 474,000. iTunes downloads was 616,000. At Walmart, she sold 87,000. Amazon was 31,000. Starbucks was 17,000. Google, she sold 13,000. Best Buy was 11,000. Walgreens was 4,100. Transworld was 3,500. And Kroger's was 3,200. Now, 1989 didn't just stop at breaking the records for her albums. Also on the digital side for singles, there's a lot of news. If you haven't heard by now, Blank Space is the second single. It goes to radio next Monday, and it logged in #1 for digital songs this week. It sold 155,000, and it debuted at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. Blank Space also becomes Taylor's 9th digital #1. She's tied with Eminem for 3rd, and she only has one more to go until she ties with Katy Perry for 1st. Also with Blank Space, she passes Rihanna with most digital #1 debuts. Crazy! Rihanna's the biggest selling digital artist since the digital charts came in. So the fact that Taylor's catching up to her and she's just getting her pop cred underneath her, watch out everyone else. Her current single, Shake It Off, bounces back to #1. It ties We Are Never Getting Back Together for 3 weeks at #1. Can Taylor take it for 4 weeks? We'll see next week. That's not all from the 1989 tracks. Style logs in at number 8 on the digital charts. It sold 74,000 last week and logs in at number 60 on the Billboard Hot 100. Our personal favorite, Wildest Dreams, came at number 76 on the Billboard Hot 100, and Bad Blood came at number 80. With all of these hits that are going all over the Billboard Hot 100, Taylor has now logged 66 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. She's right up there with Aretha Franklin. She just passed Madonna. She's becoming one of the greats, guys. Let's just face it. Also this week, Taylor's announced the 1989 World Tour. It'll stop in the US, the UK, and Europe starting in May 2015 and running through Halloween 2015. Get your tickets now, Swifties, because I guarantee this will sell out in no time. Now, we can't talk about Taylor without mentioning all of this stupid Spotify drama. Listen, if she doesn't want to put it there, she doesn't have to put it there. Who really cares? Is it really affecting you if you can't just stream it versus downloading it? Just put the CD on your friggin' phone. Is it really, come on, first world problems at its finest. As a recap, she removed all of her music from Spotify this week. Spotify then pleaded for Taylor to come back, but you know what? Taylor feels like she shouldn't compromise her art. It resulted in a million annoying think pieces about Spotify, and all these Spotify facts came out about how artists and royalties and payment and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? You know what? If you want to put it there, put it there. If you don't, don't. Buy the album, stream it, whatever. Just get the music. That's really all it comes down to at the end of the day. Yesterday, Taylor defended her decision by saying this: "All I can say is that music is changing so quickly, and the landscape of the music industry itself is changing so quickly, that everything new, like Spotify, all feels to me like a grand experiment. And I'm not willing to contribute my life's work to an experiment that I don't feel fairly compensates the writers, producers, artists, and creators of this music. I hope that I had created something that people would want to buy, but I didn't know what's been happening in people's minds. I was just hoping and praying that people still perceive there's a value to someone's musical creation." Taylor has a very valid point. This is her art. Art should be paid for, and it's her decision as the artist if she wants to release it however she wants to. Get over it, everyone. You have the album. You can listen to it in one shape or way or form. Just enjoy it. Now that we got Taylor out of the way, we can talk about some other artists. When it came to a few artists this week, it was all about the surprise factor. Azealia Banks, Nick Jonas, and Selena Gomez all surprised fans this week with a little bit of new music for them. Earlier this week, a bunch of radio stations debuted Nick Jonas and Tinashe's Jealous remix. We have been listening to it non-stop. It is so good, it totally elevates the song. Tinashe just adds this... It just feels right with a girl on the track. Nick is singing to his girlfriend, so it's nice to hear that counterpart sing back to him and kind of feel the same way. And they just sound beautiful together. The harmonizing, the ad-libs, the way they... it's just great. And then yesterday, two artists stepped up and gave us big wow factor. Selena Gomez has been rumored to release her greatest hits For You for the past few weeks now. Yesterday, she dropped the video, she dropped the single, and she was interviewed on Ryan Seacrest about the story behind The Heart Wants What It Wants. It obviously is penned with Justin Bieber in mind and goes through Selena's past year, all her downfalls, all her drama that she went through with Justin. It really takes Selena Gomez, the artist, to another level. It's more mature, it has an R&B feel, the Stars Dance EDM light pop is gone. It's really nice to see an artist that we like and we care about evolve to the next level, and that her fans are willing to go on that journey with her. The song has already reached number 2 on iTunes. The pre-order for You, which fans should have a lot of the tracks so far, is creeping into the top 10. This is her last record with Hollywood Records, but I feel like they might be kicking themselves a little bit for letting such a prized piece go. Then, to top it all off, all of a sudden Azealia Banks releases her unicorn of an album, Broke with Expensive Taste, to iTunes. Her fans have been waiting for the past 3 years for this album. It became the joke of the music industry. No one ever thought it came out. She recently left her label. Now she's independent. But guess what? Now that she's independent, she finally can release that album. Upon first listen, it actually is pretty solid. With Azealia Banks, you can't just box her into one genre. She is a singer, she's a rapper, she's a lyricist. She does like Spanish-influenced music, opera, 50s Beach Boy music. There is so much on Broke with Expensive Taste that you literally have to listen to it for yourself to analyze it. We were a little nervous pressing play, but you know what? We're happy we did. We are kind of mixed about Azealia as this entity, as this person, but when it comes to her music and her art, she delivers every single time. Make sure you check out our review on our website later today to see what we really thought of Broke with Expensive Taste. Now, moving into someone who invented the surprise in the music industry, Beyonce is re-releasing her album, Beyonce, on November 24th. It's the Platinum Edition. It's been rumored all over the internet. There's been fake track listings, but now we can confirm that we're getting 2 new songs, Ring Off and 7-Eleven. No details about the songs yet, so we're going to have to wait a little bit more. It's supposed to hit iTunes on the 14th. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised, but anything goes with B. The Platinum Edition will also contain performances from the Miss Carter World Tour, the original album, a mini calendar, some new photos, the original CD. It's got everything Beyonce fans would want. So guys, get your coins ready because B's coming for domination again later this year. There weren't a lot of album releases this week. It was just Calvin Harris that was the main one. We love Calvin Harris. He's our favorite DJ, but we felt he kind of played it a little safe with motion. He had these star-studded collabs, but they were kind of underwhelming. Sure, there's good tracks, but for us, when it's the straight EDM songs that are shining over a Gwen Stefani song, a Tinashe song. That's a little bit of a problem because we can't really stand straight EDM, but I don't know, there's next time. We don't hate the album, it's just not his best work. Remember, go to popologynow.com, you can read our album review, it's stream, motion, in full. Did you guys notice that part 2 of our interview with me on Hitch is up? You guys can listen to it at our YouTube channel, you can read our little editorial at the website. It is great. She really gets deep with her fans and the We Are Neon movement. Her fans mean so much to her. She really does get the whole fan-artist relationship, and we admire her so much more after speaking with her about her fans. To us, fans are everything to the artist, and she really understands that, and that's why her fans are now her label. She also speaks a little bit about her yard sale tour and how that's going. It's a must-read for all Neon fans, so make sure you guys check that out. Part 3 will be up Monday, and we'll answer some fan questions that you guys have been submitting. It's really an exciting piece, and it's a great way to close out our interview. Going to our pop divas, last weekend, a new Kesha song leaked on the internet. It's called Lover. It's got this trippy electronic feel. It's a total departure from anything she's ever done. Did she do this with Dr. Luke? Did she do it without Dr. Luke? We don't really know. All we know is it's totally refreshing to hear Kesha again. This song has been on the internet since August, so how we're just finding out about this now, we don't really know, but we're glad that someone brought it to light because it's something worth listening, especially if you're a longtime animal. Do we have any Meghan Trainor fans out there? Guess what? She's going on tour later this winter. In February, she'll kick off that bass tour and it'll run through March, coming to a local club near you. That's really it for this week's episode. Next week, Nick Jonas releases, so make sure you look out for our review on it. Like we said, part 3 of our interview with Neon Hitch goes up, and word has it that iTunes Radio will be streaming the Lord-curated Hunger Games soundtrack, so make sure you keep your eyes out on popologynow.com for that. Hey, you know what? Let us know what you think of this episode. Like this video, comment below, subscribe. We'll bounce back and forth with you. We always love engaging with you guys. Thank you again for all your support, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next week.